National Pokeball League Season 5, Week 10. This week, the San Antonio Swamperts go up against Cheeseboy 628 and the superior Phoenix team, the Phoenix Sunkern. Riz, you know what you said.
And the Phoenix Sunkerns are definitely better. And the Phoenix Sunkerns are definitely better. And the Phoenix Sunkerns are definitely better.
And the Phoenix Sunkerns are definitely better.
Anyways, shenanigans to that aside, this game was taken a little bit before my family had a fantasy football draft. And by a little bit before, I mean about 45 minutes or so from the start time of the draft. So I was a little bit rushed for time, but I'm not going to make any excuses for my play this game. But this actually did turn out to be a pretty interesting match. So hope you guys enjoy this battle, and let's get this show on the road. So starting off, he's going to lead off with Musharna. I lead with my Landorus Incarnate, get off a nice 31% with the U-turn, go into Heliolisk because I am carrying the Dark Pulse on this thing. But this Musharna is just going to be setting up a Calm Mind, and Dark Pulse is just doing absolutely nothing, so my play here is just going out into Suicune, and I take that +2 Psyshock with a crit, which is very impressive. I mean, I am a max Suicune, but that is still very impressive, considering that's a +2 Musharna. But Kyurem goes for the Fusion Bolt here, and I go for a Baton Pass there, thinking that he might want to switch into Dougie, but he ends up switching into Blastoise, which pretty much has him going out into Heliolisk here, and I thought he was going to go into Dugtrio here, so I kind of made a little bit of a middle ground play going for Dark Pulse. But he sends in Kyurem, and looking at that damage, I'm kind of thinking that at this point that it might be Assault Vest, because that did absolutely nothing, and I'm a max special attack Heliolisk. Timid, but I probably could have gone Modest. So that has me thinking that he's Assault Vest. And that damage is actually, I think it could actually come into a little bit of play later. But I'm gonna go back out in the Mawile to sponge whatever this thing wants to dish out at me. Goes for an Ice Beam, and I'm just gonna decide to play rough here, get some chip damage. I get an attack drop on this Blastoise, which doesn't really matter all that much, because special attack and whatnot. But nice, it's some nice chip damage. And now he's gonna go for the Aura Sphere with his Blastoise. Gets another crit on me, when that kind of forces me to quick rest. And fortunately for me, that Aura Sphere not doing a lot. Now out comes Dugtrio, and he's gonna actually take advantage of me being asleep and setting up the Stealth Rocks. And I'm just gonna mercilessly click Scald when I wake up, aka right here. Go for the Scald, does a nice 45% to this Talonflame, and he actually reveals that he's a Taunt Talon. And there I reveal Toxic. And I think this actually comes into a wee bit of play later, as you'll see. But Taunt Talon, especially Defensive Talon, not going to be too friendly to this team. So, yeah. But he's Taunt Willow, as he reveals here, which definitely going to give my Suicune a harder time. And here I actually go out into my Tyrantrum as he clicks Roost, and I kind of have him forced into a 50-50. He could go Dougie predicting the Head Smash, or he could Willow me, expecting me to set up with a Dragon Dance. And seeing as Talonflame is pretty important to deal with my team, I thought it would be pretty imperative for him not to burn me and go out in the Dugtrio. So I'm going to elect to set up a Dragon Dance as he does go into Dugtrio. And I am carrying the Ice Fang here, but I kind of needed Earthquake to hit. Yeah, I had, if memory serves, I had Ice Fang for Latias, but could have easily gone Dragon Claw, because Earthquake would have done sufficient damage enough to Dugtrio anyway. And there you see Dugtrio going for the Earthquake, and me nomming on that Shuka-Berry. This was pretty much why I had this Shuka-Berry on my Tyrantrum, for stuff like this. I tank the hit, go for another Earthquake, Dougie goes down, and Heliolisk has a little bit of more free room. And out comes Kyurem, and instead of him being Assault Vest, it turns out that he's Scarfed. So, yeah. So, rip the Tyrantrum sweep, which definitely unfortunate, but nice prep on Cheese's part. And now I can go out into Suicune and pretty much force him to switch out. I predict the switch out into something, go for Toxic, but apparently this Musharna has a Lumberry, and then I miss my other Toxic. And Musharna is able to set up. So, don't want this thing to get set up too much, so I'm going to go for a Roar. Get roared out into the worst thing possible, which pretty much forced me to switch out. I predicted him to go for a Fusion Bolt here, but Cheese makes a very good play on my Reckless switch into Landorus Eye, goes for an Ice Beam, and takes out my big threat. Again, I was a little bit rushed for time with my family's fantasy football draft. I offered to lend my laptop over to my cousin, who didn't really have a laptop. But again, not placing blame anywhere. This was solely my fault. I probably could have gone to Mile as a better switch, but hindsight's 20/20. But I'm gonna use this opportunity to go out and Lopunny and set up a substitute on this Tyrantrum, or not Tyrantrum, Tyranitar, my bad. And T-Tar protects as I try going for a Power-Up Punch, and here I make another pretty reckless move here. I go for the return, thinking that he might want to switch out into Musharna. This thing could be a little bit important, but yeah, I could have played that a lot better. But I'm just gonna set up another sub as Musharna comes in, and my Mega Lopunny is looking pretty unhealthy right now with 15% health. There, I get a pretty nice crit there. With the return. That actually puts Musharna in range of the second return, and it's gone. And now out comes Talonflame. I don't really have a good response to this, so I'm just gonna sack off my Mega Lopunny and send in Heliolisk. He goes into T-Tar, I miss a Focus Blast. This is important. As well as the fact that I kind of derped with the return and whatnot. And immediately we get to see why this is so important. He's carrying a Choppleberry. And I die to a superpower. So, it's pretty much GG at this point, or so I think. But I'm going to try to have Suicune just try to pull some tricks here. There I get a crit burn, which was definitely pretty nice. Kyurem Black goes for the Fusion Bolt there, does 25% thanks to the burn. I was just leaving Suicune in for dead, thinking that this game was over and she's got a 4-0 win, but apparently it's still not over yet. Talonflame is just gonna go for a Roost here, and I'm just going to fire up a Scald as soon as I wake up, predicting this taunt. And there I get a crit with the Scald. And basically, I can't whittle this Talonflame down enough. I'm gonna have to fish for a few crits. And this is pretty much the process of things, unfortunately. No, he's gonna taunt here again. So, just gonna click Scald. Hope for a crit. Doesn't happen there. But crits will happen eventually. In fact, I think here comes one right now. So, Talonflame's getting pretty low. And I am pressuring him with all these Scalds, and a lot of them crits. And here, the taunt ends. And I'm thinking, this Talonflame's pretty low right now. And I think he's gonna Roost over going for the taunt, just so this thing doesn't die. So what I'm gonna do is actually predict him to go for the Roost and go for the Toxic. I get that 50-50 right, and Talonflame is gonna get even more whittled. So Talonflame can't stall me out anymore because I got the 50-50 right. And Suicune is just gonna pick up another kill on this Talonflame, making it, yeah, it's pretty high up in the MVP race, but now comes Blastoise. I'm just gonna send in my Mile to, die, and, pretty much have Suicune just hold the fort, because this game is not over yet. I go for the Toxic there, and if you saw from the damage from Morsphere earlier, it wasn't doing a lot to Suicune. And if I can whittle down if I can get the T-Tar down low enough, or if I can burn the T-Tar with a Scald, and his crunches don't do that much, I can win this game. But, like I said, Morsphere not doing too much, and here I'm just gonna rest up, and have these storm shenanigans go on even further. And yeah, just 22% damage with lefties. That is impressive, Suicune. And this is why you're pretty much the captain of the Swamperts. And I believe here, Blastoise is in range of it. Oh yeah, the next bit of toxic damage. My bad. I'm just gonna go for a rest here just to get some extra health back. And now out comes T-Tar. I'm gonna need to wake up here pretty soon. T-Tar is going for the crunch there, does 22%. And next time he gets a lower roll. And I just need a Scald, burn this thing, and I'm in business. I think I can win. Great. Sandstorm damage. Well, that escalated quickly. Crit was unfortunate, but this whole game was outrageous, so it could have gone out either way. Without the Focus Blast miss from Heliolisk, I think this could have been a much different game. If I didn't click return on the T-Tar, again, could have been a different game. But, misplays in this game are my fault. Not gonna blame the rush, not gonna blame my cousins, not gonna blame fantasy football. All on me. This game is what it is. We're on to Riz next week and the Phoenix and Flora. So, gonna have to win this one to pretty much help secure my playoff hopes. I am 5-5 -1, still ahead of a couple of teams, as far as I'm aware. So, just gonna have to continue giving it my all. So, hope you guys enjoyed this battle. Rate, comment, sub, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.